we're going to do the wave. Do the wave. Do the wave. Hey, this is Joe Cash's beginning guitar for worship, and this is video 9. Still trying to get the feel for this thing. Hey, hey, Jeff Fun. And Luke is a great drummer, and so I just wanted to do that with some of the 1-4-5, and I switched it around a little bit. I went 1-4-5, then I went 1-5-4 as far as in that progression with C, and that's what you're going to find. There's going to be certain chords that just sound really good played together. As we get through the harmonized chord progressions, what I'll do is kind of show you a few things of what I've done with some songs that I've written for worship. And you're going to see I have some favored progressions that I like to use. And I've got some favored progressions I like to use for verses, and I like to use for choruses, and maybe for bridges. And then we're going to bring all that together for you. And hopefully that'll just really ignite something within you to take this to the level that whatever the Lord has for you, is that your song and your new song will be sang. So we're on page 19, and guess what's on the following page? It's the harmonized chord progression of C. So it's cool. Cool. C major. I like this new version. Let's see how close I can get. Oh, I like that. That's awesome. That really turned out good. I thought that would be inverted, but it's not. But, you know, hey, I like that. I'm going to lift it up just a little bit more so that you see what you're going to be seeing on, I think it's page, what did we say, 20? Yeah, 20. Okay. Well, there's your progression. But as you can see, what's a little bit different about the way this is out, you see an open position for the harmonized chord progression of C. We've got on the top line right there by the word nut, it says C, Roman numeral 1, D minor, Roman numeral 2, E minor, Roman numeral 3, F, Roman numeral 4, G, Roman numeral 5, A minor. Now the little RM there by that 6 it's a relative minor, and I'll get more into that in just a little bit. And then, of course, you know, it's in practicality, I know in true harmonized progression, there should be a diminished in that 7th position. But, I mean, even if you knock the diminished off and keep it just a B flat, that is fine. But we're going to go through those chords. This right here is the treble clef that I was talking about earlier, and there's no flats or sharps in the key of C. And there's your chord forms. Try and get that really centered in. There we go. That looks better. And gosh, that's cool. So you can see the forms are going to have the finger positions written at the bottom of the chord chart. So that shows you the number of finger right there on that C. On that 2nd string, 1st fret, your first finger is going to go there. That's the C right there. And then you're going to skip a string and go to the 2nd fret and put your number 2 finger down, and then you can see the C bass, which is the A string there, with your 3rd finger on that 3rd fret. And we're going to go through more of that, but I want you to see these forms right here first, because that's what you're going to see when you look at chord charts. Okay, now let's kind of take this and do some chords. Fun. Get my blue guitar. Where's blue? Here's blue. Okay. Put it on. And, you know, some things about, I'll go in and out of as far as your practice environment. First of all, I'm using a chair again with no arms to sit down into. And when I've got the guitar on, if you're going to stand up, which I do, this is the way, this position I usually am in when I'm leading worship, is standing up. Remember I talked about your 90-degree angle of both arms. So from this side coming over and this side coming, right and left hand should be no more than 90 degrees out straight in front of you like that. If I'm in the right position. And look, this is actually going to look right for the right-handed guitar. So I'm coming just a little closer and position myself down. Bring the neck, bring this down. Hey, all right. All right. So, in the key of C, we're going to make sure we see at least the first 3 frets. In the key of C, of course, it's going to start out with C, where I said your first finger is going to go on your B string on your 2nd fret. Your number 2 finger is going to skip a string and come up to your D string on the 2nd fret, and then your third finger is going to go up on the A string 3rd fret, and that is your form right there for C. And of course it is a C because this bass finger is on a C note. It's real pretty. It's a nice pretty singing. Okay. I can back up just a little bit so you see that's the form. Now, if I take this first finger out and play that, that becomes a C major 7th, but you'll hear that sometimes in a song with a C, then take the finger out, C major 7th, or you might hear it where we take the pinky and slide it in on that B string on the 3rd fret. Sometimes that's either called a 2 chord or a 9 chord. So let's play C, C major 7th, C2, C9. Pretty, isn't it? Okay. Now sometimes on C, since C is really used in a lot of beautiful songs, what I like to do instead of playing at an angle like this, you can sometimes take your 3rd finger up on the A string 3rd fret, and then lay your 2nd finger on the B string on that 3rd fret, and your 4th finger where it comes down like this. And sometimes I call that a 2, a C2. So there's no, it's just simply it. So, yeah, call it C2. So that's C2. So we got our C. Now our D minor is fairly simple. We take our number 1 finger, we're going to put it on 1st string, 1st fret, like that. We're going to take our 2nd finger and skip a string, go up to the G string on the 2nd fret, and then either your pinky, if you want to use the number 4, you can use number 3 or number 4, whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to go to the B string and put it on the 3rd fret. Real pretty. D minor. Trying to find a good position for you to see that. That's better, isn't it? I can lift one finger out. This gives it a more open, airy feel. Or now, if you want to take and push down the first 2 strings, right here on that 1st fret, which would be your E string and your B string fretted down, and then take your number 2 finger onto the 2nd fret, 3rd string, that's called a D minor 7th. So D minor 7th, both can be used when you have a D minor. Okay? Okay, E minor. E minor's, again, fairly simple. We're going to come up to the A string, 2nd fret, and I'm going to put my 2nd finger on that. And then I'm going to take my 3rd finger, put it again on the 2nd fret on the D string, and that's it, just those 2 strings. And your E, of course, is in your bass. That E is open, so that's why that's an E minor. So F. F in C is probably your toughest chord, because you're going to actually come down here kind of like the D minor 7th. We're going to push these 2 strings down with 1 finger. Then we're going to go up to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then we're going to come up to the 4th string, which is your D, on the 3rd fret, and that's where we're going to grab our F. That's why it's an F major. Now if I decide I want to lift my barred finger up here on those first 2 frets and play that B string on that first fret, it's called a major 7th. So barred, F major, lifted up, playing the 1 string, F major 7th. And those are real pretty chords. In the beginning, when I started leading worship, you heard those progressions a lot between like the C major, which was these 2, and F major 7th. Just real pretty together. And that's your F. Now G, we're going to start out by taking our 3rd finger on our 3rd fret on the bass on the E string, which is your G note. Your 2nd finger is going to go on the A string, 2nd fret, which is a B, and then your pinky is going to drop right down here, just like this. This is your G here. You're going to have a G here because it's both E strings. There's some different things you can do with this. The reason why I like to play it in this position, that same string that you grabbed in the C and the F major 7th, which was the B string on that 1st fret, well, this is called a G suspended. So that's why I like to play this way. It gets a little rough using this pinky at first, and you're approaching this kind of like a claw. Okay, so you're clawing your fingers. You're not really pushing like this. You kind of got them in a clawed position so that they're kind of going over the strings like that. You can see the dents in the end of my finger. You just want to hit as much as you can on the single note. And remember, the closer you get to the fret, the clearer that sounds without actually touching, like back to the G. Ooh. I didn't press that very hard. If I come down with my pinky, so from G, now we're going to have A minor. And A minor, just that same string you grab both in the C and the F major 7th. We're going to grab that B string, 1st fret. Then we're going to go with our 3rd finger, and we're going to skip a fret and then come right down with it with the 3rd finger. And we're going to grab an A minor. And your A, of course, is with that A open. I use that a lot, the A minor. Lift it out, kind of becomes an A2. Put that 1st finger back in. You hear me do that in a lot of the songs that I've written in A minor. It's real pretty. Okay, now we're to our 7th chord. And by the way, this A minor, which was the 6th chord in the harmonized progression, is called a relative minor. And the reason is that when you play C, sometimes you'll hear this. And that was a walk down from the 1st chord, which was C, which is the number 1, till its relative minor, which is 6th. So they both sound well together, and they're very well related. And in fact, if you played the same chords, if we did this harmonized progression, and let's say we started on the 6th chord, which would be A minor, excuse me, you could actually continue with this A minor, and the only thing that would become different in the different chords is the 7th chord and playing a key in A minor and C. Let me do this last chord for you, which is a B flat. Instead of a diminished chord, I'm just going to play it as a straight B flat, and there's no real easy way to do it. You just have to bar this whole 2nd fret, because your B flat, is on the, going to come from the 1st fret. So you're going to push that whole thing down. It's going to come from your A string on that 1st fret, becomes B flat. Okay? And then what I'm going to do in pressing that down all the way to grab that bass note, I'm just going to lay my second finger across 3 strings. Now there's no easy way to do this. This is a difficult bar chord, but that's basically what you have. If later on I'm going to teach you how to do an A, but this A, which is the 3rd finger on the D string, 2nd fret, your 3rd finger, just all the next fingers, 3rd and 4th finger, are going to go all on the same fret together. And your A, of course, just like your A minor, comes off that open A. But that's the form I'm using when I'm making this little bar chord. I'm just sliding it down. Instead of here, it's an A, I'm sliding it down, barring that. And there's no real easy way to do that. That's just one of the bar chords that you have to learn. Between B flat and B minor, those are 2 essential bar chords that you've got to learn. But that's a C progression. But let's go through it with a 4/4 count. Where it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just kind of go through it. We'll start out with our C. E minor. Excuse me. I'm in a position where I can't see that very well. Apologize for that. E minor. F. G. A minor. B flat. Back to a C. So you're going to practice that. And what I did there purposely, hey Josh, is yeah, that was Josh. Go play the guitar. Just go through that and go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now in the beginning, it's probably going to be more like this. It's okay. Have to pause for a minute. Get your finger. Remember, clarity comes before speed. The chords themselves need to be as close to the fret without touching. There. G. A minor. B flat. And C. So 4/4 counts. Be nice to yourself, okay? That's the key of C major harmonized chord progressions. I'm not going to do the scale position because my 20-minute limit's coming up here on the video, but hey, we're going to come back for video number 10, which I believe is the key of G. So I will be right back. God bless you.